Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our lesson on the Game Force 2 Club opening. Now, I'm calling it the Game Force 2 Club opening because the Game Force 2 Club opening implies, as the word says, that we are not stopping short of game in our auction. Now, there is an exception to that rule. There is one auction that can stop under game, everyone, and we'll get to that auction soon. But what this lesson really is about is trying to differentiate the difference between very big hands with lots of high card points and very big hands. Everyone, a reminder, please turn your videos off. Everyone, please turn your videos off. Thank you. Be much appreciated. Distinguish between hands with lots of high card points and hands that basically have lots of playing strength, and how you try to evaluate those hands. And the method I'm going to teach you about evaluating those hands is through the losing trick count. But first of all, let's talk about hands that are balanced. Hands that are balanced all the way up to 22 points should be taken care of with bids either by opening at the 1 level or by opening to no trump. Now, I'm going to assume that most people play one strong bid. For those who do play systems such as Benjamin 2, and you may have been used to opening 2 clubs with 19 or more points, I'm hoping that I can convince you with this lesson that it's probably not necessary to be opening balanced-ish hands with 19 points with 2 clubs. I very much prefer that the 2 club opening bid is the basis behind it is that it is game forcing. So partners are going to expect a very good hand opposite that, pretty much enough for game. However, if your hand is balanced, let's pop our little highlighter on here. If your hand is balanced, everyone, such as 4-4-3-2, 4-3-3, 5-3-3-2, sometimes a 5-4-2-2, then you need to have at least 23 high card points to consider it good enough to open 2 clubs. So any hand with 23 or more high card points and a balanced hand, that's a hand that you could open 2 clubs on. You subsequently show that hand by rebidding to no trump, and the rebid of to no trump would be 23 to 24 points. We can also discuss what you do with hands of greater than 24 points that are balanced. I think Helen sent me an email the other day where she picked up a hand with about 26 points or something like that, and it was balanced, and partner opened, and she opened 2 clubs. And it wasn't clear the method of how you should show a hand with more than 24 points that is balanced. But we'll discuss a possible method at the end of the session, everyone. Now, so balanced hands require at least 23 high card points to open with 2 clubs. But there's a lot of unbalanced hands that we pick up that really aren't far away from slam and are definitely good enough for game. Now, let's be clear. If you preempt to game, that is, you open 4 hearts or 4 spades because you've got a long suit, you cannot do that with a hand that is better than preemptive high card points, such as if your hand is 10 points or more and you open 4 hearts or 4 spades, then if you miss slam, you get everything that you deserve. Why? Because 4 heart and 4 spade opening bids are essentially preemptive calls. So when I look at example 1 down here, I've got 10 tricks in my hand. In fact, losers are the opposite or the flip side to essentially winners. So I've given you the loser method of how you count losers in the past. So let's go over it again. Any suit that has 3 or more cards, every card from the 4th card onwards, such as the heart suit here, from the 9 of hearts down to the 2, they're all winning cards. So any card that is on the left of that is in the top 3 cards in any given suit, we count those cards, the ones that are missing, that is the ace, king, and queen, we count those cards as potential losers. Well, in spades here, you've got one card. So the only card that you're interested in would be the ace. A king or a queen here would be considered a loser. Let's go to the heart suit. You've got ace, queen, and 10, so you're missing the king. So in the heart suit, you've got one loser. The diamonds, well, you've got the top three cards, ace, king, queen, no losers. But in clubs, you've got two cards. You have the ace, but you're missing the king, which means you have one loser in clubs. This is a hand with three losers. So you fully expect to make four hearts on this hand without any problem whatsoever. But you can't open four hearts with this hand because partner will expect you to have a preemptive style of hand. I mean, you could virtually take away all of these ace, king, queen, and ace in clubs and perhaps give you an extra heart here. And that's a hand that I would open four hearts on. But this particular hand is a hand that I want to force to game and explore the possibility that our partnership can make more than game. So what's the criteria for an unbalanced hand? Is there a minimum number of points? Well, I don't like to look at it such as a minimum number of points. The way I like to look at a two-club opening bid with an unbalanced shape, that is either a 6-card suit or a 5-4, perhaps 3-1, I like to look at losers plus something that we call quick tricks. I like to combine the two things together to see if the hands are worthy of opening two clubs. Everyone, just a reminder again about videos. If anyone has a video on, please make sure you turn it off. If you're on an iPad, it's at the top. If you're at a PC, it's at the bottom left corner. So just a reminder about videos, please. Back to the hand in question. So, three losers in this hand, one in spades, one in hearts, one in clubs. How many quick tricks do we have? Well, what is a quick trick? An ace is a quick trick. An ace-king is two quick tricks. King-queen, missing the ace, is one quick trick. And an ace-queen is considered to be 1.5 quick tricks. Now, we never consider the third card in a run as a potential quick trick. So if you're dealt ace, king, queen here in diamonds, that's not three quick tricks, it's two. We only look at the top two cards or the first two cards in a suit. How many quick tricks on this hand? Ace, queen of hearts, well that is 1.5. So 1.5 in hearts. I might pop this up on the board here, everyone, so that we can look at the quick tricks that we have. So in spades, we have 0. In hearts, we have 1.5. In diamonds, we have 2, that is the ace-king. And in clubs, we have 1, that is the ace. So this hand has a total of 4.5 quick tricks. Combine that with our 3 losers or less, and this hand is good enough to open 2 clubs. So you notice I'm not looking at this hand from the potential or the perspective of just high card points. When hands are unbalanced, high card points are often not the first thing that we should consider. Having said all of that, I'll show you an example of a hand with 3 losers, but is not worthy of a 2-club opening bid. Let's imagine your hand is something like this. King, queen, jack, 10, 6, 2. 4 only, king, queen, jack, 8, 5, 4, and a void. So, how many losers do we have on this hand? Well, let's look at it suit by suit. In the spade suit, in the top 3 cards, you have the king, queen, jack. You're missing the ace. So in losers, you have 1. Yep. Here, in the heart suit, you have 1 card. So if you have only 1 card in the heart suit, then you should only consider 1 card, and that is the ace. Are you missing the ace? The answer is yes. In diamonds, again, you're missing the ace. The answer is 1 loser there. A total of 3 losers. But you need at least 4 quick tricks to be able to open a game force. Do you have those 4 quick tricks? Well, let's count them. King, queen of spades is worth 1, and the king, queen of diamonds is worth 1. So you've got a total of 2 quick tricks. This hand is a full 2 quick tricks short of a game force opening bid. So a hand like this, you wouldn't open 2 clubs, you'd simply open 1 spade. I hope that clears up what I mean by the combination of losers and quick tricks, everyone. Let's continue on. Now, when partner does open one of these game forces, how do you respond to partner's game force opening? There's a bit of a movement that's been going for quite a while that says you always bid a 2-diamond waiting bid. Now, I'm not a subscriber to that. I think there are hands where you would bid 2 diamonds on, despite having at least 9 high card points. But there's a number of hands where I would like you to show you're positive because it makes bidding in the auction far clearer. But first of all, let's look at a negative response. With this hand in question here, example 2, you're the respondent to partner's 2-club opening. You've got 9 points on this hand, but if you do happen to bid 3 diamonds on this hand, you're consuming an enormous amount of space in the auction, and you're bringing into play quite a poor 5-card suit. So despite the fact that this hand does have 9 high card points, this might be one of the hands where I would make a negative response. That is 2 diamonds or a waiting bid. So essentially the 2-diamond bid is negative, but it could also be waiting, meaning there's some hands that with positive high card points, 9 or more, that you think, well, there's no benefit in me showing my poor suit here. How about I bid 2 diamonds, 2 diamonds waiting? Is someone saying that the sound is not quite clear? That may be your internet connection, everyone. I've only got that from one person so far about the sound. So that's probably your internet connection, not my microphone, I'm hoping. Yep. Some other people have a unclear sound, erratic sound. Okay. That's probably not my microphone, everyone, I'm afraid to tell you. Okay, is it better? It's probably Zoom, things going in and out, I'm suspecting. A lot of people are now saying that the sound's not good. Anyway, everyone, I'll keep trying, and perhaps the internet is what's playing up a little bit at the moment, or the Zoom, program. So let's keep going. Example 2, as I suggested, whilst this hand does have 9 high card points, and you would consider this to be a positive, there doesn't appear to be much advantage in, would you like me to repeat the last bit? Okay, let's go back. Let's talk about the negative response to a 2-club opening bid. Typically, when you bid a 2-diamond negative, you're saying to partner, I've got between 0 and 8 points. Now, what is it negative to? Well, 2 diamonds is negative to going to slam. It's not negative to going to game, because we open 2 clubs on very good hands that are essentially forcing to game. So when we say a 2-diamond negative bid, it means negative to slam. Now, this hand has got 9 high card points. Slam is a possibility in example 2, but I don't see the advantage in me showing my 5-card suit here. Why? Because it's poor, A, and B, because it would mean I have to jump to 3 diamonds, and that will probably consume too much space for my partner. Now, that doesn't mean that I would always bid 2 diamonds waiting on every hand. Let's look at the hands where you do have a 9+ and a positive response. Most of the time, you can make a 9+ positive response of anything other than 2 diamonds. So any bid other than 2 diamonds is considered to be a positive with either 9+, or even some people make a positive with an ace and a king in their hand. So as little as 7 points. In fact, Ron was playing with me the other day. I opened 2 clubs. And this was Ron's hand in response. Ron had ace 10 to 4, king 9, 8 to 6, and singleton, too small. So instead of, it's only 7 points, but as Ron suggested, that he was able to show a positive hand here at the, or show a major, that is, at the 2 level, which means that he was able to bid 2 hearts here. And whilst that implied 9+ points, essentially, as he was saying, that he's got a 6-card suit and he's got an ace and a king. Now, why are the ace and the king important? Because they are what we call control cards. And control cards are very good for slam. Yep. So on this particular hand, I agree with his positive response of 2 hearts. Let's rub that out. And let's look at the example hand that I've given you in relation to example number 3 here, in relation to showing a positive response with this given hand here. Now, it's only 7 points, but the quality of the heart suit here is very good. If it turns out that a partner can fit in hearts with you, then I think that there's a very good chance this hand can go to slam opposite partner's powerful hand. So rather than simply count the points on this example 3, I believe that ace, queen, jack to 6 hearts is a good enough hand to show a positive. If that queen of hearts was the queen of diamonds, then I wouldn't bother. I would simply bid 2 diamonds. Okay, let's keep going. Let's talk about what happens after a 2 club, 2 diamond negative option. Here's your hand, you're the opener. Let's check that this hand is good enough to open 2 club game force. Well, the moment you look at it, it looks like a big hand. It is 23 points or more. It is unbalanced. But let's just double check on the idea of losers and quick tricks. So how many losers in spades? 1, you're missing the king. None in hearts, none in diamonds, and 2 in clubs. So this is 3 losers. How many quick tricks? Plenty of those. Ace queen is 1.5. Ace king is another 2. So we're up to 3.5, and the ace of diamonds is 1. 4.5 quick tricks. This is an easy hand to open 2 clubs. And surprise, surprise, you get a 2 diamond bid from partner. Now you start showing your shape. So the first round of the auction tends to be points, and the subsequent auctions tend to be all about shape. So in this particular hand, we now bid 2 spades, promising at least a 5-card spade suit. Well, let's move on and let's have a look at a hand. These aren't matching hands, by the way, everyone. This is a different example, example 5. And in this example, partner opens 2 clubs, you bid 2 diamonds, and then partner does bid 2 spades on this hand. Well, you've got a spade fit for partner. So your choices are to either raise partner to 3 spades or raise partner to 4 spades. Now, what's the line at which you draw where you raise to 4 or you raise to 3? Well, first of all, let's talk about the philosophy behind raising to 4 versus raising to 3. I spoke the other day about principle of fast arrival. If you know your side is going to game, the quicker you go to game, then the weaker your hand is. That means if I was to bid 4 spades on this hand, that bid would be weaker than bidding 3 spades. Why? Because partner's 2 club bid was game forcing, which means we're not stopping short of game. In that case, we have to then work out, is this hand good enough to show more than a very bare minimum hand? And the criteria is this simple. If you have 3-card support for partner's major and you hold a control, and that control can come in the form of an ace, a king, a singleton, or a void. So just a reminder, we've discussed controls in the past, and I'll just remind you of what a control is. A control is an ace, that's the first round control, a king, which is a second round control, so first round, a void, which is also first round control, and a singleton, which is second round control. So on this example hand here, do you see any evidence of one of those controls? The answer is yes. you've got a singleton diamond. That is a second round control in diamonds. And don't be surprised how powerful your hand could be opposite a 2-club game force from partner with at least 5 cards in spades. So what would you do on example 5? On example 5, you should raise partner's 2-spade bid to 3 spades. Now, everyone, you would do the same thing even if you didn't hold the queen of spades. Even if your spades were 3 to the 10, then I still expect you to bid 3 spades because you've got a control in one of the side suits. Let's continue on. Example number 6 here. Example 6. You respond 2 diamonds to partner's opening bid of 2 clubs. Partner's next bid is 2 spades. Well, that doesn't excite you. In fact, when I'm looking at this hand, I feel a bit ill, but I'm comforted by the fact that my partner has a game force opening. So they've got a big hand. What's my responsibility at this stage? What should I do? What I should do is I should now bid the nature of my hand. If I'm balanced, I bid no trumps. If I have support, as you saw in example 5, I raise partner. And if I've got a 5-card suit, it doesn't matter how weak my 5-card suit is, I show it by bidding 3 diamonds in this particular occasion. And that says to partner, it says, partner, I've got 5 or more cards and diamonds, but I'm not promising you any points whatsoever. We're simply trying to find a trump fit in order to go to game. Now, that's why I'm a big believer in the initial response to a 2-club opening bid not always being 2 diamonds. So for example, if you always play a 2-diamond waiting bid, then how does partner know the difference between the hand that you have here in example 6 and this particular hand? So partner opens 2 clubs. Partner opens 2 clubs. You respond 2 diamonds. Partner bids 2 spades. And this is your hand. Singleton. King to 3. King, Jack, or King, Queen. Jack to 6. And 3 small. What if you were to pick up that hand? I'm such a wonderful drawer. Bowie's always impressed by my drawing feats. There we go. If that was your hand, then of course your choice would be to bid 3 diamonds. Yeah? So how does partner distinguish between example 6 here, where you have to bid 3 diamonds, and this hand here, where you would expect to bid 3 diamonds? That's why my preference on a hand such as this is to not bid 2 diamonds waiting at the start. My preference on a hand like this is to bid 3 diamonds. Why? I'm quite proud of my suit. Sue's asking question, example 4, what would open a bid after 2 clubs without a 5-card suit? So if you have a balanced hand, so assuming a balanced hand, Sue, if you have a balanced hand, then you bid 2 no trump with 23-24. You can bid 3 no trump with more than that, that is 25 to 27. It's not my favorite method, but you have to do very artificial things if you don't choose that method. Deb's asking, if you have 3 4-card suits and 1 singleton and 22 points, what would you open? Good question, Deb. What card is the singleton? Is it a small card or not? And that can hopefully answer my question. Because when I've got 22 points and 4-4-4-1, normally there's often an honor card in that singleton. If that's the case, then I'll treat the hand as balanced. But more often than not, I'll find myself with 22 points and a 4-4-4-1. I'll probably actually open one of the suit. And If partner turns out to pass with 4 or 5 points and we miss game, c'est la vie. But it's very difficult for the opponents to ever pass you out in one of the suit. Have you noticed that? The opponents don't like doing it. So, okay, everyone. Now, let's talk about a few options when the rebid is two-no trump by the opener or two-no trump by the responder. So it doesn't matter which player bids two-no trump, then you should play Stayman over the top of it. If the option does go 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, two-no trump, then your normal system here will apply. That is, you would play transfer bids, and if you play puppet Stayman or 5-card Stayman, then you would play that as well. Now, that is slightly different to the option where, let's say, the responder bids two-no trump. If the responder bids two-no trump, promising a balanced hand, they most certainly won't have a 5-card major in this balanced hand because they would have bid 2 hearts or 2 spades, being that two-no trump here is a positive, 9+ points, and balanced. They could include a 5-card minor in their choice, but they wouldn't choose to bid two-no trump here with a 5-card major and 9 points. That being the case, it's a good idea for the opener, once they open 2 clubs here, to play 3 clubs as Stayman. And why? Because it's possible that the opener may have, let's say, 5 spades and 4 hearts, and the responder has 4 cards in hearts, and they may never be able to find the fit. Or it's possible various bad things could happen. And there's no reason that you can't, over partner's two-no trump, 9+ balanced, play 3 clubs Stayman. You just treat it like as if partner's open two-no trump. Now that Stayman, everyone, would be 4-card Stayman. Why? Well, partner can't hold 5 cards, so it's just simple, old, straightforward Stayman. Any questions so far as we're going along? There's a lot of good questions in relation to things such as 4-4-1s, how we should approach them. I've found that over time, often with a 4-4-1 in a very big hand, so if I was to give you an example of one of those 4-4-1s with a big hand, if this was my hand, King, Queen, Jack another, Ace, King, Jack another, what have we got here? King, Queen, Jack another, that's a lot of points so far, and then King only. What have I got there? I've got 12. Let's make that heart into the Queen. I'm being stingy. 12, 6 and 6 is 12, and 9 is 21, and 4 is 23. Everyone, I would treat that like 23 points in the balanced hand. So with that particular hand, I would open 2 clubs, and when my partner bids 2 diamonds, I would bid two-no trump. Why? Because of the single honor here. If the card was a small card, and then I had some extra points, perhaps both of those kings were aces, so we'll pop ace, king, jack here, and we'll pop ace here, a very big hand. So if that was my hand, then what's that add up to? 8 in spades, 10, 17, it's 24 points. I would feel slightly hesitant about bidding two-no trump with a small singleton club. So perhaps on that hand, I might fib a little bit and treat my ace, king, queen of hearts as a 5-card suit and bid 2 hearts. Vivian's asking a question, if opens long suit as clubs, would one go to 4 clubs after a two-no trump response? Sure, why not? Yep. How would you play after a two-no trump opening bid? And remember, we're already in slam going territory. So if you've got the shape, why not? If that's your long suit, why not bid 4 clubs? There's also a case, everyone, and this is what I play. I can extend the responses to openers rebid after a 2-club opening. this is what we play. 2 no trump, balance 9 plus, 3 clubs is Stayman. Yep. 3 diamonds and 3 hearts are 5 or more hearts. They're just simple transfers, 5 or more spades. But what I find is that some players may forget that. So I think this is important to play. This is less important to play. And you could play, in fact, you could play 3 spades here as minor suit Stayman as well. So there's advantages, but the disadvantages is memory. So that's why I don't push this part too hard. If you're very keen, then I think that there's a good reason to play this method. But if you just want to have something that is straightforward, I think forget this part. Whoops. Let me just, oh dear, there we go. Forget that part, but include 3 clubs as Stayman. That looks like a children's drawing, doesn't it? Okay, let's play some hands, everyone, and let's see how this 2 club game force works. So everyone, I hope I'm convincing you that 2 clubs on every hand that you pick up with 19 points is not such a great idea, because that's my aim, is to get people to take their 2 club opening bid as serious, play 1 strong bid, use 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, 2 spades as some other variety. Some people play multi-2 bids. Some people play just weak 2s, which have a lot going for them. Let's have a look at the hands that we've got on the board. There we go. So, hand number 1. There we go. So, this hand is clearly good enough to open 2 clubs in anybody's book. Because it's a chunk, what I call a chunky 5-4, I'm going to try to bid my suits if I can. So I'm going to open 2 clubs. Yep. If you want to check on losers, it's got 1 in spades and 2 in hearts. And it's got a mountain of quick tricks. 2 in spades, 2 in diamonds, 2 in hearts. So 3 losers, but 6 quick tricks. What do you need? At most 3 losers, at least 4 quick tricks. Let's just ask a quick question. I thought you would go to 2 no trump, or with 5 cards you would call that suit. Give me the option, Deb. Type out the option, and I'll work out what you mean. So how do we respond to that? Well, this has got 9 points, and it's got a pretty decent 5-card major. So I see no reason to bid 2 diamonds waiting. If I bid 2 diamonds waiting, I'm constantly catching up in options. And I'd rather try to give partners some sort of outline of my hand early on. So I'm going to bid a positive 2 hearts, 9 plus, 5 or more hearts, probably, you know, okay suit. I mean, it doesn't have to be earth-shattering. So that's what I do. North bids 2 spades, promising 5 cards in spades. And South now continues by showing 5 hearts and 4 diamonds. Well, if you go back to the North hand here, partner's got 5 hearts and 4 diamonds. There's no trump fit. But the good thing about this hand is that we know about the positive values in the South hand, that they've got 9 points. If that's the case, then we've definitely got slam on. This hand's worth 25 high card points or something like that. This hand's got 9, that's at least 34, but we've got no fit. So it looks like no trumps is the option. So I'm going to jump to 4 no trump just to check on aces. A grand slam might be happening here. So I bid 4 no trump. This wouldn't be Roman keycard Blackwood because there's no set suit. Some players may say, well, surely it shows a trump fit with the last suit that was bid. But I counter that by saying, if you had wanted to use Roman keycard Blackwood, you would of course use minor wood here. You would have bid 4 diamonds. So this is plain old fashioned Blackwood asking for aces. Partner shows no aces, but we still go to 6 no trump because we're confident that partner's got good enough hearts. They're not missing both the ace and the king. So we're in 6 no trump, and where our East leads the 10 of clubs. How should we plan the play, everyone? What's the first thing you do in a slam? Someone says dry the sweat off the palms of their hands. And after that, why is spades not a good trump fit? Well, we don't know that partner has a spade fit. In fact, partner didn't reply or didn't raise your 2 spades to 3 spades. So partner denied a trump fit. This hand, without 8 cards and spades, I see no reason to be choosing a 5-2 spade fit rather than playing no trump, 6 no trump. And in fact, 6 spades is a decidedly dodgy contract. So first thing you need to do, count your losers or count your tricks. I think in slams, I tend to count my tricks. So Lena's saying, lose your heart. I think that's a good plan. But this hand is actually quite specific. And it's common to no trump hands. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow because we've got some hands that we're playing in no trumps. And it's all about entry problems. Yep. We've got, and not only entry problems, it's all about unblocking in suits. So Zan's asked a question, could 4 no trump not be roaming key card blackwood for the last suit? Well, I did answer that a couple of minutes ago when I said that 4 diamonds would be roaming key card blackwood for diamonds. Therefore, 4 no trump must be simply simple blackwood without alluding to any diamond suit. So, win the queen of clubs. I think what's the plan behind that, Helen? And I think I agree with that. The reason that I agree with that is we need to go through the steps first of counting our tricks. So, how many tricks have we got? Ace, king of spades, that's 2. We'll come back to the hearts in a minute. We've got ace, king, queen, jack of diamonds. That's 4. And ace, king, queen, jack of clubs. That's another 4. So there's 10 tricks off the top. And then we've got king, queen, jack of hearts. So once the ace of hearts is gone, that's 12 tricks. Well, this is easy. We don't have to do much. We just have to give up a heart, like Lena suggested. Now, it's not that simple. Why? Because South has 1 entry and 1 entry alone. And we've got to make sure that we don't waste it by having that little worm in our ear saying, you always play the honor on the short side first. Well, not if that honor, that is the jack, is your only entry. So make sure you play this hand in this particular order. You win the club in your hand, and then you do the most important thing for no trump hands, which we'll go over again tomorrow. You unblock any suits that are blocked. And then after that, you start to play the suit that you need to develop. And that would be the hearts. So that's what I'm going to do, everyone. Keep my entry to dummy in the jack of clubs, because I need that for the queen jack of diamonds and the winning hearts. Then I unblock the ace king of diamonds, because that's causing me a problem. And then I start now to develop the hearts by leading the jack of hearts from hand, because I require 2 tricks. That's what I do. I play the jack of hearts. Now, interesting thing to note here, everyone. The ace of hearts was ducked. Now, imagine that I didn't have the jack of clubs in dummy anymore. If I didn't have the jack of clubs in dummy anymore, I would never get back to dummy again, because they've ducked with the ace of hearts. So this was the key, and this was the reason that I kept the jack of clubs as the entry for later on, because now I can continue with a heart, and I've set up the second heart trick. And now it's just a question of not tripping over my own feet from here on in, yep, which you've noticed so far that I've been particularly good at some of my BBO efforts, like getting that cross trump happening against 4 spades yesterday. Poor Anthea. She put me in a good contract. I finished the lesson and had a good cry about that hand. Let's continue. Spade. I'm not going to finesse, am I? I'm going to win with the ace. Now, everyone, I'm going to use that 2 of clubs to cross over to the jack. Now I'm going to play these 3 winning cards, king of hearts and queen jack of diamonds, and I'm going to discard these 3 losing spades. Let's do it. Jack of diamonds, king of hearts, Brilliant. Now I just simply play a spade across to the king, and I've got the last three tricks, the winning spade and the two winning clubs. So in slam hands especially, your aim is to count your tricks rather than necessarily your losers. And remember that with a slam, you can afford at the 6th level, afford to lose one trick, but you can't afford to lose more than that. Let's move on to the next hand. So everyone, here we go. This is a classic case of what the reasoning behind playing Stayman opposite a 2-no trump response from partner. Well, this is a big hand, 18, 25 high card points. You open 2 clubs and partner bids 2-no trump. Well, that's good. We've definitely got points for slam. Now, but partner's balanced and without a 5-card major, but they could have a 4-card major. So can you see the value here now of playing 3 clubs as Stayman? If you didn't play 3 clubs here as Stayman, you'd probably end up playing the hand in no trumps. And that doesn't look like a good plan on this particular occasion. So what do? We now can bid 3 clubs, finding out about partner's 4-card major. Partner shows 4 cards in spades. And now this would be, 4-no trump would be Roman key card Blackwood here. Partner promises 1 or 4 key cards. Well, that means partner's got the ace of spades. They could also hold the queen of spades and maybe even the king of clubs, and we might make a grand slam. So I think let's ask about the queen of trumps. Do you have the spade queen partner? And partner bids 5 spades, and it's always the answer of no. Some people play a jump to slam, says no. Everyone, can I give you a suggestion? Don't play that method. I believe it's a poor method. I simply believe that if you don't have the queen of trumps, you bid the next step, because partner might have another idea on the hand. And in this particular occasion, when you deny the queen of trumps, partner knows we're missing queen to 5 trumps, so they stay at the 6th level. Okay, opening lead is the 10 of hearts. Well, let's look at the play of this hand. I think this hand is interesting because I'm going to offer a suggestion here, everyone, that we're playing, let's say we're playing in a teams game. That is a teams of 4. What I want to bring back to the table is a score of 6 spades plus 14, 30, rather than bringing back to this table 6 spades minus 100, versus the possibility of playing for an overtrick. In teams bridge, the overtricks are not important because you're playing as a team of 4. Harleen's asked a question, what is the response to asking for queen if positive? Well, the next step. So 5 no trump would have said, I've got the queen. Okay, pardon me, that's what I meant to say before. I meant to say that if you do have the queen, some people jump to the slam. I'm suggesting not to play that. The negative, of course, is always the next step in everybody's system. So I misspoke then. I feel like a politician. So on this particular occasion, this spade suit is giving me the heebie-jeebies. I've got ace, king, jack to 8, which means 8 ever, 9 never sort of fits in my mind here. You know, it's sitting there eating away and saying, okay, if you want to take all of the tricks on this suit, then you need to play a low one across to the king and then finesse the jack on the way back. Well, you may not need all the tricks in this suit. Kathy's asking, why is the printed version bidding different to yours on Zoom? Have I sent out the wrong notes? I think is the hand exactly the same, Kathy? Please check. I may have changed something. Oh, I think what I did in the notes was I asked about the club king. I think that's a mistype in the notes, yes. So in the notes, the bidding should go like this. You should have been asking for the trump queen. So on the 10 of hearts lead, my play in the trump suit will be dependent upon whether I need 3 or 4 tricks in the suit. Now, that will also depend on whether the club finesse wins. So I need to find out about the club finesse before I decide which way I'm going to play the trump suit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to win the jack of hearts in hand, and I'm going to immediately finesse for a club, and it wins. Well, that's great news. If I was playing against robots on this hand, everyone, the king of clubs would win, and they would play a club back for a ruff. Not that I'm feeling sensitive about playing against robots at the moment, everyone. Let's continue on. The club finesse has worked. So if that's the case, then you can afford to lose a trick in the trump suit. There is actually what we call a safety play on this particular occasion. If you're ever dealt ace jack to 4, opposite king 9 to 4, then the only time you're ever going to have a problem, if you play the hand in the traditional way, that is the 2 to the king and a low 1 to the jack, is if all 4 of the cards, that is queen 10 to 4, is sitting in the west hand. If it's sitting in the east hand, you've got no problem. There's actually a play that you can make that will guard against both holdings. If you take the ace first, and then you play low towards the king and the 9, all you have to do is cover the second card that West plays. If they play the 10, that's fine. You win the king, and then your jack and your 9 drive out the queen. If they play a low card, you simply finesse the 9, and if that loses to the queen or the 10, that's fine. The suit is now broken 3-2. So that's what we're going to do here, everyone. We're going to take a safety play in spades. So study this hand, everyone. It's very important. If you're interested in taking safety plays, which would be advantageous in teams. We play the ace, so we're going against the traditional line of play. And then we're playing the 2. And when West plays the 6, I'm going to guard against the possibility that West has all 4 cards. If West had thrown away, that's no problem. I would rise with the king and lead through the queen towards the jack. But now that they've played the 6, I'm going to insert the 9, and that wins. So the safety play was worth it. Probably helps that I've set up the hand. You now cash the king, queen drops, the 10 drops, and the opponents are left with the queen, but it doesn't matter, you've got the rest of the tricks. So simple as that. You play the ace of hearts, and then the rest of the tricks are available. Have a look at that hand. I wouldn't play that way in this afternoon's duplicate because we're playing match points where over tricks count. But in teams, over tricks are not so important. Let's have a look at this hand. First of all, let's look at the south hand. Count that it's good enough for a game force. Of course it is. 1 loser in spades, 1 in diamonds, 2 losers, and 6 quick tricks. Ace, king, ace, king, ace, king. So you open 2 clubs. Partner bids 2 diamonds negative with this hand. And the opener rebids 2 hearts, promising a 5-card heart suit. Well, most of you probably think, well, this hand's got 2 points, therefore I'll just treat it like a minimum hand. But this hand has a magical singleton in a side suit. So instead of raising to 4 hearts, principle of fast arrival, you should raise to 3 hearts, which says, partner, I've got something a little bit more than an absolute rock bottom minimum. And the best thing that you can give partner in a slam contract is a control. So that's what you do. You raise 2 hearts to 3 hearts, stronger than 4 hearts. Well, for those who, and I haven't gone over control bidding yet, and I promise that I will, the way you show controls after this is you show first or second round control in the next suit, which means whenever you've set a suit, a trump suit at the 3 level, any bid between 3 hearts here and 4 hearts promises a control. Where you go to the next suit and partner says they've got a control in spades, singleton, void, ace, or king, one of those. What would you do? Well, you'd go to the next suit, which is clubs. Can you control in clubs? No, you cannot. So you go to the next suit, which is diamonds. Can you control in diamonds? Yes, you can. You've got a singleton. So you show it. And after that, it's smooth sailing from partner. That's all partner wanted to know about. Look at their hand. Now that 6-2 of diamonds, partner knows you've got a singleton or a void. And partner knows they can be trumped in your hand because you've shown partner a heart fit. So partner uses blackwood, finds out you've got no key cards. Doesn't matter. If you had the ace of spades, partner would bid 7 hearts. So you've got no key cards. Partner then just simply signs off in 6 hearts. Well, let's look at the play. Obviously, everyone, the play should mimic the bidding. So how should we play this? Well, the king of spades wins the first trick, and West doesn't believe you and tries to cash the queen of spades. But you trump that. Well, now, before drawing trumps, we'd better start trumping diamonds in dummy. So let's try the ace of diamonds. And don't play the king here, everyone. Play the 2. And you can probably safely trump that with the 8, I think, and that will stand up. Well, after this, it's smooth sailing. You cross back to hand with the trump. You play the other losing diamond, because if you draw trumps here, what are you going to do with the 6 of diamonds? So you trump the other losing diamond with a high trump. There's 2 trumps out against you. You cross to hand, overtaking with the king, and then you draw the last trump. And then you've got nothing but a trump, king of diamonds, ace, king, queen of clubs. This is an interesting hand, because a lot of players would not see the value of the north hand once partner opens 2 clubs. They'd think, well, I've got 2 points. But what you've got is you've got 4 card support and a singleton, and that is magical. Last hand. Levin, this is the everyday hand that you will all pick up, which you see on a regular basis. And this is a hand with 1 loser. So it looks like you've got slam on your own. But you may be surprised which slam you should be bidding. You start off by bidding 2 clubs, and surprise, surprise, partner bids 2 diamonds. You continue the ball rolling by bidding 2 hearts, and don't be worried, partner can't pass you. Any change of suit is game forcing. So that's what you've done here. You've bid 2 hearts, and partner has a decision to make. Well, they've shown you a negative hand. They now must show you if they've got a 5-card suit. Well, they do, and it's at the 2 level. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bid 2 spades, promising 5 spades, not promising any points whatsoever. Well, South is very pleasantly surprised to see that, because now they know that they can play in the superior spade fit rather than hoping that the heart suit breaks opposite a singleton or a void in partner's hand. So they set spades here by bidding 3 spades, and then North shows a control bid in diamonds. South could have just simply bid 4 no trump if they wanted to over 2 spades. That would have been another option. They did anyway. Partner showed 1 or 4 key cards, which must be the ace of diamonds. So we're going to assume these heart suits are going to run for tricks eventually, even if we need to trump some in dummy. So you can safely bid the grand slam in spades. West leads, or East leads, the jack of diamonds. So how do you feel about picking up this hand and becoming dummy, everyone? It wouldn't be something that a lot of bridge players would be thrilled about. So what's our plan? Well, this looks so easy. It looks like we just draw trumps and trump a heart in hand if the suit doesn't break 3-2. So that's what we're going to do. Win the ace, play a trump to dummy. Oh, and West shows out. That means East has all 4 spades. They've still got the jack and 2 small ones. And if you play the king, queen, the jack won't drop. You need to take a finesse through East. How do we play from here, everyone? Any thoughts? How do we get across to North in order to take that finesse? There's a small element of risk. A heart ruff. That's the only chance you have, everyone. Can you see that? You have to play the ace of hearts and then a low heart and trump it in dummy. Hope that you don't get over trumped. Well, you didn't on this occasion. And now you lead a spade. East plays the 7. You take the mark finesse. Draw trumps. And now you've got all of the winning hearts. and the ace of clubs. 13 tricks, plus 2210, and a good score. Everyone, thank you. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to turn off the video now and stay online, and let's discuss. I'm going to bring up our Bridgebase website and have a look at getting online for this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed the lesson, everyone.